The case between Olamide Thomas and the Inspector General of Police has hit a speed bump as the counsel representing the IGP requested 24 hours to prepare for arguments on the defendant's bail application. Olamide Thomas, whose video went viral for allegedly cursing Seyi Tinubu, son of Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, during the 4th anniversary of the EndSARS movement against police brutality, is facing charges of cyberbullying and 3 other related offences. To discuss this, we are joined by a lawyer and a public affairs analyst, Justice Ojienoh. Thank you so much, Mr. Ojienoh, for joining us on the news.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to join you.
So looking at the latest developments, what do you make of this story?
Okay, it's difficult for me to delve into because it's now a matter before the court. But one thing I can tell you easily is that I'm not personally friends with the lady in question, but I was, as one of the lawyers to the protesters generally, I think I was also with her on that day because a number of them were arrested, including Mr. Soweto, who happened to be their leader in Lagos State on the 20th of October. And of course, they summoned us through our network and we rallied around and we went. But on that day, all of them were actually discharged. I also heard of what happened with this case, and I'm actually not fully in the know, especially with respect to the present counsel that's representing him. So I'm also a bit tired, but generally, I saw what happened on that particular day. They were not treated very, very well by the police, especially the manner of arrest and all. But we were the commissioner of police at the time and the public relations officer of the Nigerian Police Force in Lagos State Command. And they gave a lot of assurances on that particular day, especially with respect to persons who are molested, who are beaten. But they have not fulfilled what their assurances, what they gave us assurances on that day. They promised to actually unearth the particular police officers that actually committed infractions against the protesters or the people who went to observe the memorial on that day. Until this moment, we are yet to see any fulfillment of those promises.
Okay, you are a lawyer, so I'd like to get your legal perspective to this. The counsel representing the IGP said that he's just been intimated of the bail application for Olamide and he needed more time to respond to it. And I'm asking, how long does it take to respond to the bail application that he couldn't have done it? Aside the fact that that particular information was even given on December 20, that was even before now.
Okay, for me, I think that is very, very unfortunate. But again, in the famous case of IGP and Gopa, it is said that the defender has to be given sufficient time and facility in order to be able to prepare for his case. And sometimes the prosecution too, they enjoy such privileges. It is possible that sometimes the way the police will say, or their lawyers, the prosecution lawyers will say that the matter was, their office was intimidated, but the particular prosecutor in charge, the particular lawyer was not given the folder. Generally, in order to reply to motions, generally, we usually take 5 days to 7 days. So if they are already aware, or if the office is already aware from the 20th of December, I think that it is very, very wrong and very, very unfair for that to be an excuse that is being sought by the prosecution in this situation. But since what they are asking for is just 24 hours, I pray that I hope that the court has obliged them so that the hearing can actually take place tomorrow in order for the court to actually rule one way or the other. I'm not in a way, I can't preempt the court. I can't say that the court will grant a bail or the court will not grant a bail. But that the court will choose to rule one way or the other after weighing its own discretion whether to grant a bail, and if it's granting a bail, on what terms it will be seeking to grant a bail.
Oh, okay, so help us understand what actually constitutes cyberbullying or cyber stalking. Those were the accusations leveled against Olamide Thomas, and if she's actually culpable of those allegations?
It's very, very hard for me. I may not be able to go into whether she is culpable or not. That is,
it's just an education. It's just an education.
Okay, maybe by way of education. Generally, before now, what happens before the cyber stalking principal law and the various amendments that have followed it is the fact that a lot of people just go online. We have to remember that the internet is a new terrain, and part of the reasons why we have a standing legislature, not a part-time legislature, is for them to see challenges that emerge in society from time to time and quickly make laws to be able to deal with such challenges. And one of such challenges is people now use the social media or the internet world to actually commit a lot of wrongs, to take away people's privacy, to destroy people's characters and all. But one thing I've observed is that generally the police and law enforcement and the government generally, they now seem to be abusing these provisions of the law. Once a person does something and the person puts it on the internet, they almost just harp on that and say that, oh, this person has committed cyber stalking, or he has committed this and that. So I feel that is what generally the government might be taking advantage of. But whether it is particularly so in this case, it is for the courts to decide, and it's not something that I will be free to do at this point in the case. Maybe after the judgment of the court, I can come into the credibility or otherwise of the way the matter went. But at this stage, I may not be able to do that.
Yes, I understand. Like I said, it's just a matter of education. Now, the Nigerian police have been accused of double standard. You would recall in before the 2023 general election, some certain elements did use the social media to threaten some certain people that if they're not voting for their candidates, they should stay away. And the police PRO back then said that we should just take it as a pinch of salt, that it was just a joke. Is there a difference between that and what Thomas Olamide allegedly did?
I mean, I may not be able to compare both, but I think that on that one, the PRO of the Nigerian police force is extremely wrong. See, sometimes we have to remember that we cannot keep saying, just like Eric Blair, like I will fall back to, said that all animals are equal. That was the law. Then suddenly overnight, some animals went to change it to some are equal, but some are more equal than the others. And I think that generally can easily be the perception of the people if the law, Femi's model law, is not blindfolded. Is using one eye to see some people and giving them favorite treatments, while the others are being given an outsized hammer to deal with whatever it is they are alleged to have done. So I feel that ought to have been taken care of, and frontally too, in order to discourage anybody from inciting any form of ethnic violence against any other class of person. So I feel that that's a missed bus stop for law enforcement in order to be able to show how fair that they ought to have been. But it's very, very unfortunate. The allegations against the Nigerian police force, especially the shenanigans that they have demonstrated in the past weeks and months in this country, I don't want to be touching on particular cases. It is very, very easy for the average, unbiased, objective Nigerian onlooker to be able to say that, no, the way they are applying it to this person is absolutely not fair. And they needed to have used that as a major example, but they missed that bus stop. And I know that if they are even presented with a similar opportunity, they will still treat some people with serious favoritism, and it is seriously to the detriment of the rule of law and any image that the public relations officer of the Nigerian police force may be trying to launder, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Justice Ojienoh, lawyer and public affairs analyst, it was nice talking to you on the news. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.